like I was living in the US for like 2-3 months in California and in Florida. The industry I would feel is very fake to a certain point where it's like, oh, let's be friends because, you know, this guy has like 2 million followers, you know. I gotta be nice to him to get something out of him, you know. And I would never think like that. I don't care. I would never ask anyone to tag me in their story. But over there, it's just like, okay, there's like one good looking dude, 10K followers, and this old dude, like 4 million followers. Like all the girls would go to him. Who gets the better thumbnails, clickbait, scripting, faking, you know? It's just, to stay relevant, people do a lot of bad things.
What's your time in India given you as a person, dude?
More patience. I'm so impatient. So if someone is like 10 minutes late, nowadays, like back then, I'm like, nowadays 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, thank you for only being 10 minutes late and not 2 hours, you know?
Super fun conversation that I'm not going to talk about too much in the intro. Chris Betzmann is a German who spent his time from age 18 to 31 traveling all over the globe, paying for himself, going about occupations, jobs, and experiences that you wouldn't really guess when you see this person's Instagram for the first time. Chris has got countless experiences, especially when it comes to the world of travel. And my purpose for bringing him on the show was 1, because he's a funny ass dude, but 2, so that we can share his experiences with the audiences. Often in India, we simply think about making money, possibly having a stable family life, possibly legacy and high potential outcomes like that. But sometimes some of the greatest lives, some of the most interesting perspectives are created simply because of travel. If you're someone who enjoys travel, if you're someone who enjoys fantastic experiential perspectives, Chris Betzmann is the man for you. For more podcasts like this, make sure you follow us on Spotify. Every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. Chris spoke about everything from his time in Pakistan to his time in South America to his dating life, dating people from different cultures, and all sorts of different perspectives. This was one of my most fun podcasts that we've ever created. And Chris Betzmann and Ranveer Allahbadia coming at you like the German-Indian brotherhood. Ah! Okay, that's it. Enjoy the episode. Chris Betzmann, my schnitzel brother. Welcome to India.
Thank you.
Is it fair to say welcome to India? Because you've been here for a while now.
Everyone is saying welcome. I'm like, I've been here for 7 months, but thank you, you know?
It's crazy, dude. You've lived one of those lives that a lot of people dream of living. Most people our age in India think of living the life you're living, but like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, after work is done. So why are you living this life, firstly, of travel, and how are you living this life of travel?
I mean, to be honest with you, it all happened. You know, there was no plan of living this life. Like 10 years ago, I left Germany and I wanted to have a change. So I wanted to do something different with my life, get more adventurous, more experience, more like travel. So I went to Australia, bought a one-way ticket, left Germany, and then things keep happening.
How did you sustain yourself?
In the beginning, just by savings. Then I was working in Australia. So I had different jobs in different countries, earn money, spend it on travels.
Wow.
You know, instead of, that was kind of my kind of investment. I invested in myself and my travels. And
what did you do in Australia, bro?
Many jobs. Okay. So it's called working holiday visa. Basically, you work for 6 months in one job, then you have to change and you travel. So they offer you a visa where you can do both. And it sounds really interesting to me back then. So I was like, wow, you know, finally I can like do something, be free. And I worked at the Opera House in Sydney. I worked for different event companies and saved money. Then I traveled for 2 months in Australia. Then I traveled in Asia. And then until I started social media, maybe like 5 years ago.
To just document all this.
Yeah. And then I just, you know how we all started on Instagram, you know, just dumping all the pictures and like there was no sense of making money with it. It's just, I love taking pictures. And it's just developed from there, you know, when it slowly became video.
Yeah, you know, you make
Found my passion.
in India. There's a word called bakchodi. Do you know what that means?
No.
You make a lot of bakchodi reels. Bakchodi is like
Cringe.
No. Like you're f***ing around for fun. Like,
Yes.
like you f*** around a lot. You go to like the beach. You meet these random guys who tell you, "I'm Shah Rukh Khan."
I somehow attract all these people because I'm like a funny person. So I'm like always joking around with people, and then they're like, and I was like, oh wow, I should upload this as a reel,
No, it's cool. And I also think that Indians are naturally drawn a lot to tall white dudes. So when there's a tall white dude around, a lot of Indians want to go and have a conversation.
Yes.
Do you feel the effect of being white in this country?
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I'm tall, so I stand out. And I feel like Indians are very curious. Like I lived in Thailand as well. It's just Thai people live their life, I live my life. But in India, wherever I go, people like ask me all the questions like, what do you do? Where are you from? So I feel like they're very curious.
Or they call you on podcasts.
Yeah.
But go on, man. What's the weirdest travel experience you've had in India?
The weirdest?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, so far, everything is like really good. I mean, I can't complain. I mean, I'm traveling for a while, so I know how to handle all these like bargaining situations and not really a weird situation. I mean, the craziest story was probably when COVID started. I was actually in Pakistan that time.
Wow.
And all my stuff was there. I was making videos. And I came to India with my friend to travel around for like 2 weeks. And I just will not forget because COVID was like, people talked about COVID in that time. And then one of my followers sent me a message saying that it's going to go into lockdown. I should leave ASAP. That was on the same day. Like woke up in the morning, read this, and I'm like, maybe it's just can't take it serious, Anyway, then I just looked into it, and it's apparently said that India is going to close the border at 4 p.m.
Wow.
So I was like, wait, did some more research, and then I actually ended up booking a flight to the Wagah border. The flight reached at 3 p.m. and it takes 50 minutes to get to the border. So I would be literally reaching like 10 minutes before it closed.
So I'm assuming you went to Lahore, and then from there you drove to the Wagah.
So I was in India. I was in Delhi.
Okay.
Then I had to fly to Amritsar, take the taxi at 3 p.m., which takes 50 minutes to the border. Then I reached and they told me it's closed.
Wow.
I was freaking out. I was literally like begging them. I was like, did you have to open? All my stuff is in Pakistan, I was like, I gotta go. Then I somehow went in and then there was no one in the border anymore. Like no person. So I was like freaking out. I was like, dude, like I was screaming. I was like, someone needs to like stamp me through the border, And then I found this old dude and he just came out of nowhere and then he did my passport. Then I went through the border with my luggage, like a survivor of the pandemic or something. The only person, literally through the border where they have the parade usually, And I was like, whoa. And then apparently it got locked down for 6 months.
Wow.
So, I mean, it wouldn't be bad to be stranded in India, but at that time I was like freaking out, I was like, whoa.
6 months and COVID struck Pakistan.
Yeah. And then I was stuck in Pakistan, yeah.
Wow. You could have just crossed the border like sneakily and then, no, I'm kidding, bro. But what did you do in Pakistan, dude? Where were you?
So basically, I started my YouTube channel and I wanted to start my YouTube channel in India, Sri Lanka, Philippines. That was like the kind of plan. Then I met a good friend of mine, Rubinsky. He's also a big travel. Yeah. So he told me of his recent trip to Pakistan. He said, you should go to the north, make some videos. So I actually started like Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka.
Right.
And got stuck there.
Do you feel India and Pakistan are different in terms of people?
To be honest with you, sometimes yes, sometimes no. But it feels like people are like very similar and a lot of different behavior. Obviously, Pakistan is more like in towards Islam, So the way they dress is different. But as people, I feel like it's very, very similar.
The vibe is the same?
Vibe is very similar, yes.
What differences do you feel in like the people at all? Like all the Pakistanis I've met in Dubai or whenever I've traveled are really polite. Like everyone's really polite. I think it's like Urdu is like the main language versus, here we have multiple languages, even though Hindi is like the main language. Everyone speaks different languages and Urdu has this nature of being really polite.
Okay, that I don't know because I can't translate. I feel people are super nice in both countries. I had a great experience in both countries. And yeah, people always ask me the difference, you know, and I feel like especially at the border, you can see that people are very, very similar. And then obviously Mumbai is a very evolved city.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can see the differences there, that people are very like more liberal, more different mindset, you know, but I had such a good experience in both countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about Pakistan, bro. What else did you see there?
Yeah, so basically the plan was just to travel for like 3-4 weeks, start my channel, make some videos in the north. And then things happen, you know, like I told you, like I left Germany, then things happen and I'm like always up for new things. I'm always up for adventure.
Yeah.
So then I met a big YouTuber over there who just came from Canada. We became good friends. We moved together and then we started making videos together. So even during the pandemic, it was all fun.
So you were going in the countryside in Pakistan? Like you were going inside?
First, I went to the countryside to the north.
Yeah.
You know, where Ladakh is bordering.
Yeah. That would be like northwest frontier province of Balochistan, one of the two, right?
No, Balochistan is on the west.
Okay.
I was more like where Ladakh is.
Got it.
Like
got it.
Kashmir part, like this
Got
side,
it.
there's like beautiful areas as well. So I was just making videos there. And then, my YouTube channel went pretty good. So I spent more time in the cities in Lahore.
Let's talk about that north place where you went. What was it like, bro? Because
Beautiful.
You've like traveled all over the world. So from that perspective, what was special about that place?
It was, I would say, even similar to India. It's like a hidden gem. You know, it doesn't have that much tourism, but it has a lot of potential if you would put the right infrastructure to it, you know? So roads, the roads were not the best, but the mountains are beautiful. And it's perfect for what I like adventure, you know, new things. And people live their life very differently compared to the rest of Pakistan.
God. Did you get any girl attention in Pakistan?
I did.
You did? And?
More in India though.
Okay.
but yeah, like... yeah.
Okay, but not like out there in the countryside.
Not in the countryside, no.
Okay. So let's talk about the Pakistani cities. Again, another topic that I feel a lot of Indians need to learn about, bro. Did you feel any significant differences between Pakistani cities like Karachi, Lahore versus Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, etc.?
I mean, the big cities in Pakistan are very, very different from like the rest of Pakistan. Meanwhile, I think like even in India, like smaller cities have a similar vibe in terms of development and like people, how they like, you know, what they're into. But like in Pakistan, I feel like there's like 3 major cities, like Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad. Rest is more smaller on the development side. And everything happened in these cities, you know? So if you're into the industry, it's either Lahore or Karachi, you know?
You mean media?
Yeah, like social media.
Got it.
Movies. Like every major business is in one of these cities. So it's pretty developed actually, you know? I mean, obviously they have their regulations being an Islamic state, like no bars, no clubs, you know? But people are very open there. They're super chill.
And super good looking.
Yeah? Yeah, I mean, yeah, like...
You don't feel so?
I mean, even in the north, like in northern Pakistan, for example, people look like British.
Yeah.
You've seen like girls having like different eye colors and, you know, a man having like orange hair. They look like Ed Sheeran. I was like, "Are you from England, dude?" I was like, "What the hell?" And he's like looking at me like he doesn't understand. So it's very, very different, you know?
Yeah. I think that part of Asia historically had a lot of mixed genetics.
Yes.
Like it's where Alexander the Great actually stopped his whole conquest. Like exactly that part, like the north of Pakistan, Punjab, all those parts.
That explains.
Which is why Punjabis also kind of look fair. I've got some European genetics. That's why I feel connected to Chris Betzmann.
Oh, okay, good.
No, but let's talk more about Pakistan, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, like.
Tell me something more about the cities. Like, do they have like a partying culture? Do they have a nightlife? Because I've always wanted to visit Pakistan, like just to see what it's about and to kind of see the comparison between the two countries, dude. I feel media propaganda on both sides creates very negative outlooks in people's hearts about the other country. But it's not like that. When you actually meet Pakistanis abroad, when Pakistanis meet Indians abroad, there's a lot of bhaichara, there's a lot of brotherhood.
Yeah.
So, what's up in the cities?
I mean, I just wanted to say, like, I just went to Korea.
Yeah.
And I went with another Indian filmmaker and we met a lot of Pakistanis. So we were like, you know, so it's all media and which is very sad, you know, but like, I would say the biggest difference is like in terms of Pakistan being an Islamic state, they don't have that open party culture, you know? Because
even in the cities?
even in the cities, there's no single bar, no nightclub, nothing. So I feel like they're limited in certain ways because of their religion, which you know how the youth is nowadays, you know, they like to break the rules and stuff, you know, not everybody, but there's a party culture, but it's more like underground, I would say.
Got it.
Like it was in Dubai before. Huge underground. And then they opened up everything. Now you see where they are.
Which country has the most beautiful women in the world, according to you?
In the world?
In the world. Colombia?
That is hard. When I was in Colombia, I had a girlfriend that time. I was like, but I'm super loyal. So like, but Colombia has beautiful women.
Yeah, probably the most beautiful in the world. They're supposed to be like the world's sexiest people in general.
I like also like Eastern European.
Eastern European.
But then like South Americans have more spirit, you know, they have more fire. And I like that. I like, you know.
Little sassiness.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to say, but South America is definitely there.
Bro, why don't we talk a little bit about European culture? You're the second European person who's traveling for a living that we've had on the show. We've had Cecilia Aldney, who's been in India for a very long time, and she's into the whole Indian startup ecosystem, etc. And she had a lot to say about European culture. I want to actually know about European culture from you. Like, what's it like growing up in Germany, dude? Like, what kind of vibe do you grow up with? You know, for example, if I had to give you the Indian equivalent, it's very different if you grow up in a city versus a small town. But in both cases, the commonality is like, there's a lot of importance given to like hard work and like, you know, you have to like make money, you have to become famous, you have to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that with like Indians, especially in Bombay, there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
But all over India, there's this very aspirational kind of vibe that you grow up with.
I mean, I kind of like to grow up in Germany. Obviously, this is something you cannot plan, you know, like where you get your passport from, like what family you're into. So I'm actually very happy I'm from Germany. The thing is though, like, that's one of the reasons I had to leave, because people it's just so much pressure. Like, you know, I feel like everyone wants the same life. Which is what? That American dream. Like, you need to study hard, have a good education, have a good career, family, dog, cat, house, car. You know, it's all, everyone has the same life. So I was like, what if it's not for me? Do I have to fit in this bubble? And I was like, I don't want to fit in this bubble. You know, I want to have my own bubble. So instead of following the path which everyone goes, I wanted to have my own path.
With Colombian women and...
But how can you go to Colombian women if you're in Germany working 9 to 5? So I was like, how do I get there, you know? No. But then I was like too bored of this. Everyone has the same life, you know? And I saw it in my friends. They're getting pressure from their family, like, do something with your life. You know what they all say? Like, you have to work hard in school to study something, you know? And I feel like I hated that pressure at that time because I wanted to do my own thing. But then in Germany, it's so, like, back at that time, you know, like 10, 15 years ago. How old am I? 31. So like even 20 years ago, it was, you know, you had to go for these normal jobs. There was no social media big that back then, you know? So I don't know. I felt like I hated this pressure. And good thing about growing up in Germany, though, is like a lot of efficiency. You learn about a lot of efficiency. You become super efficient. And your boss, like if you do 100%, he wants 110%. And you know, if you do 100%, he wants 120%. They're never satisfied with you. But I don't know. I feel like there has to be a balance between work and life. And a lot of my friends, they don't really, to be honest with you, they don't really take lunch breaks. It's just all work, you know? So I wanted to escape that.
I mean, it's a very weird comparison, but as a football fan, when you watch the German team play, you actually learn a lot about how they look at their own culture. Like it's highly efficient. Like every time I've ever seen Germany play a football match, there's a very detailed system that the entire team is following, which you don't see in other teams. You know, the other teams may or may not have it, but Germans are always deeply organized. And if you actually travel in Germany, that's what you notice as well. It's probably the most organized country in the world. It's
super, super organized. And it gives you a lot of pressure because if you're not like that, if you're different, you feel like, oh, something is wrong with me. Because I have to belong in this template of life, you know?
Since you're a kid?
Maybe since I'm like 15, 16.
Okay. When you start realizing how the adult world works.
Exactly. You know, when you're like 12, 13, you're a teenager, you don't really think about these things, you know? But like for me, it was like when I was 15, 16. And, you know, because of the internet, you can look into other places, how other countries work. And I was like, you know what? I like this much more than this. But a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have the guts or the passport or financial background or the family support to do this, you know? So with the working holiday visa, I found a good opportunity to be like, I can be independent somewhere else and maybe build something.
Yeah.
And so growing up in Germany, good efficiency, obviously a very stable economy. So, I mean, even if you don't have a job, I don't know if you know, but if you don't have a job in Germany, you get like $400 a month.
Wow.
For doing nothing. They pay your apartment. So even if you have no job, you live a luxury life compared to other countries, you know?
Do Germans choose to even do that? Like knowing how Germans are, even they have this whole hustle mentality.
I don't think they know though. Because like when you live in this bubble, how can you look at your own bubble if you're not outside the bubble? So when I was in Australia and I heard other countries talk about my country, I was like, oh wow, yeah, that's true. I didn't even realize it then, you know?
Dude, you're the most like relaxed German I've ever met. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just being like super straightforward with you. Like,
Usually they're like,
it's
strict and like super serious, you know? I'm like the opposite, you know? I'm like the rule breaker.
You're a buck German.
Buck.
Yeah, like there's a lot of buck.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, seriously, man. Like, I don't know. You kind of seem like a little American almost. Like, you know, in how you are. Like, American guys have like this kind of relaxed conversational vibe about them.
Yeah, like I'm very open-minded to things and I like to learn. Like for me, it's not like there's one path of life. There's like many different ways of living. And that's why I love traveling. So I can see how different people do, you know?
Do you think every country you visit like kind of paints a layer on your personality?
Yeah, for sure.
It does?
For sure. And I'm absorbing the best part of different cultures and countries and I like take it with me. And I have to accept that even growing up in Germany, there's a lot of things that are not good. So I'm just like, you know.
What's not good, bro?
Like when I lived in Australia, I realized that you have to have a good balance between work and life, like free time. And they're perfect for me, you know, like they have like their surfing, they do all these activities, all their sports, while Germans are just like work. And then on the weekend, beer, you know, there's no balance. It's just extreme.
What's the country you think about the most? Of like all the countries you've seen? Bro, there's like two places for me. One's Japan, because of just how nice the people are, dude. Like just people are too nice there.
Too nice.
The second is, honestly, America I think about a lot. And there was parts of America I saw which were really up. And there were parts of America which I saw which were like really weirdly spiritual and like nice. Because the landscapes are so big. Dude, I went to this sequoia forest. Sequoias are like these really tall trees. So we went to a sequoia forest, bro. And when you enter it like in the morning, the sunrise is just happening. And because it's like a mountainous region, the sunrise happens a little late. Because the sun takes time to come up. Dude, so you see these really tall trees like which are as big as like skyscrapers, just staring down at you. And there's like a lot of trees. There's trees as far as your eye can see. And you can see like really far. And then the sunlight hits them. And it kind of looks like the trees are like staring down at you and saying, hey, welcome to this forest. And you feel that vibe. And we had gone there to shoot a video. And I'm just like staring up at it like, where the am I? Because I've never seen trees so big. I've never seen this vibe. Okay. And then while I'm tripping out, my friend goes, hey, dude, look, a bear. And there's actually a bear like
oh my God.
Right there. Like it's maybe like 10 meters, 15 meters away from you. And you're kind of like frozen because you're looking at like a big bear. It's not a grizzly, but it's one of those brown bears or whatever, but it's still huge.
Oh my God.
And it's just sitting there, scratching its back, scratching its balls and shit. And you're just like, what the Is it gonna come at me? But it doesn't. It just stays like Yogi Bear. It stays in its zone. Then there's this other American dude who goes, hey bear. Okay, and it's this quiet forest American dude representing American culture, the bear. And the bear kind of gets mind and like runs away instead of like coming at the person.
Damn.
These strange ass experiences in America. But what's that for you, dude?
I mean, I was living 3 years in Australia. I had such a good time, but I really love the US as well. It's like you said, it's the contrast is crazy, you know, while a lot of people are like very much uneducated, even being educated, you know, there's still a lot of opportunity in like growth and, you know, they're like being on top of like, as like a lot of things, but you have to like I was living in the US for like 2-3 months in California and in Florida. You have to be with the right people because as much as it can help you grow, it can also like get you fucked up in some way.
Let's talk about this, bro. What
No,
do you
like I
mean?
said, in terms of social media, it's like there's a lot of fake. The industry, I would feel is very fake to a certain point where it's like, oh, let's be friends because this guy has like 2 million followers. I gotta be nice to him to get something out of him. And I would never think like that. I don't care. I would never ask anyone to tag me in their story. But over there, it's just like, okay, there's like one good-looking dude, 10K followers, and this old dude like fucking 4 million followers. Like all the girls would go to him without a doubt. It's a lot of like cloud chasing. Who gets the better thumbnails, clickbait, scripting, faking, it's just to stay relevant. People do a lot of bad things, which I don't know. I never wanted to, and you have to fit in. If you're not fitting in this, it's going to be very hard nowadays to grow.
I agree with the career opportunity things that if you're willing to work hard in that country, you can become anything you want to become.
Anything, yeah.
Because there are a lot of helpful Americans also.
Of course.
There's a lot of people out there who are very kind of focused on their own growth, but they know that they will grow by helping other people grow.
Yes.
So people very willingly help you with like everything they have.
Yes.
Great team players and all, but that's in pockets. Like I remember, I did like a gummy. Like we were on this USA trip and we did like a cannabis infused gummy.
Ooh.
Okay, so dude, my friends like made me do it, and I did it very willingly, and it's strong. So I got super blazed, and they stopped at that In-N-Out burger, which is at a petrol pump usually. It's at a gas station. And we got out there and that's what started hitting me, okay? And I'm like looking around, I'm a little like hazy. Dude, and I saw like these 2-3 homeless people, okay? And you really kind of, you see the trauma that those guys are going through. They're very likely on drugs. Have you seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah, of course. The show. Amazing.
You know that one episode with that drug addict couple and they ignore the kid and Jesse goes to that couple's house and he's like in stealth, he's hiding from them and they're fighting with each other, they're bickering and finally the drug addict couple gets high together, like really high. They start fighting aggressively and the woman eventually kills the man while the kid is like roaming around. There's this one very peculiar Breaking Bad episode. And this mindfucks Jesse, who in the show is like actually a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Dude, you kind of sense those vibes as well. There's a lot of drug addiction out there, like bad levels of drug addiction.
Yeah, and it's just like, I've seen it. It's just, if you want to fit into a certain industry, obviously there's a lot of good people out there. And like, I love the vibe that everyone is so ambitious and has goals and you can make it really far by working hard and connecting with the right people. But you have to find the right people. Because it is much easier to go through like drama, controversy, and you grow with that much more exponential than being like a good YouTuber. So people seek the fast cut, So they're going to be like, okay, how can I be a Hollywood actor tomorrow? That's the way they think. So they all go to Hollywood with their $2,000 savings and they're like, okay, I've got to go out with different people. So then they go out, take drugs. They don't make it. So their savings are done. So most of them end up on the streets or end up with being like depressed because they have done things and it has lead them to nowhere, So that is also that dark side of this kind of like living in a place where everything is like so,
Have you
super rich.
Yeah, have you come close to the dark side? I mean, not you yourself. Have you seen it up close?
I've seen it, yeah.
So what's it like?
Like I've seen people literally sacrificing their friends, sacrificing their family for they just wanted the success, the fame, the money, instead of like, oh, I like making YouTube videos. I just want to grow naturally. They're just like, oh, I have to be famous tomorrow.
You're talking about America specifically?
I'm talking about people who were going to America for that reason. Can also be foreigners. They're like, okay, like, where can I get the richest, the fastest? So then they would, like, let's go to LA. Everyone is in LA, and they don't make it because not everyone makes it, So they all drift off badly.
Have you been to LA?
Yeah, I've been there.
And you've lived there, I'm assuming?
I've lived there. I lived with my friend for like 3-4 weeks.
That's long enough, dude. That's long enough to know the culture of a place.
You know the culture and then you go out and you see the patterns of, I don't know. It's just like to find genuine people who just want to like you as a person rather than getting something out of you. It's harder,
There's always an agenda.
There's always something like, why are you with me? Why are you my friend? Is it the money, the followers? any other gain, you know? And I find it sad, no? I feel like,
Did you meet any established famous people there?
yeah.
You did.
I have a few friends, they're like big in the modeling or like actors as well. And they would be like telling me the same. They're like, the circle is very small and you have to be really careful who you can let in your circle because it's dangerous, you know, like why would they be with you?
Everyone wants to take something.
Everyone wants to
take.
take something from you and they're like, they really want to pull you down so they can get up.
Yeah.
You know?
Joe Rogan's left Los Angeles for the same reason. And there's this whole exodus happening from LA. Like I believe even the media industry in America is gradually shifting away from LA for the same reason.
Yeah.
That it's become like this. I mean, I'm no one to say anything because I've spent only like 3-4 days of my adult life in LA. But what they say is that it's kind of becoming this toxic vibe that you spoke about.
Yeah. I mean, look, to compare this, it's like, let's say you want to be a bodybuilder. Okay, you don't want to train much because you just want to be like famous tomorrow, Instagram famous model. So you just take steroids, right? But to be a bodybuilder on like the big scale, you can't be natural. It's not possible. So if you're just going to be like that little innocent boy who's like, I'm going to work hard every day to become the best natural, like people are going to laugh at you. So at one point you have to inject, you know? But then even taking a few, like unless you have the best genetics, it will only get you somewhere, you know? But if you want to be at the top, you have to take more, you know? And people get greedy. Once people have a lot, they want more. So they're willing to sacrifice more, even their health.
You know, bro, when you're talking about all these things from all over the world, it kind of actually makes me think of Goa in some ways. How do you look at Goa? Because a lot of Indians now look at Goa in 3 ways. They either look at it as a party location, they look at it as a place to kind of escape into paradise like South Goa, or they look at it as a new hub of foreigners like yourself. And that's honestly a fascination. Like that, why are so many foreigners kind of coagulating and staying in Goa? And technically at this stage of your life, probably it's home for you. So what's that like, dude?
Yeah, I've been living in Goa since May. So how many months is that? 5. Probably 5 months, and I've been on and off. But I chose Goa as my base. But before I was living in Bali. And Bali is like super like a co-working hub for digital nomads and creators and people who have their businesses and just want to live in nature. So I was like, you know, I lived in Mumbai for 2 months. It was good, but I ended up going out too much. And I was not really focusing on work. So I wanted some place which like give me a nice balance. Like I can go to the beach. I have my jungle, like, you know, it's like, it's a good balance. So I feel like if more people like freelancers from India, like India has a huge freelance culture, right?
Yeah.
If more people would come to Goa and build this hub, I think it would be really amazing.
Let's talk about Bali a little bit, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those places I've thought about a lot. As you know, maybe in my late 30s or something, I might move there for the same reason that you can totally grow your career from Bali. That's what people, especially in cities, don't understand about moving out. They think that they lose out on a lot, but the truth is post-COVID, you won't. Like, you know,
No.
you'll still get those same opportunities if your work is of a certain standard.
Exactly. I mean, I think the Bali is like the jungle LA. It's like all the big influencers, creators, photographers, they all move to Bali because their work doesn't really depend on living in LA, for example. You know, so if your work doesn't require to live in Mumbai, obviously if in the movie industry, it's going to be hard always, like, even though it's a 40-minute flight, you know, but then always back and forth, it doesn't make sense. But now with COVID, everything is online. So moving to Goa or Bali is easy. You can just, you know, work online.
What's life like in Bali specifically, bro?
It's perfect. I really, really enjoyed it. Great food. Everything is still super cheap. It's cheaper than Goa. Obviously, much cheaper than Mumbai. Mumbai is like, but reason why I left, I feel like it's a little bubble where, you know, if you're super established, you have no point. You can live anywhere anyway, you know, but it's a little bubble in terms of like, I'm a digital nomad. I'm trying here to start something. And then they realize that it's not really that good to start something there. It's more like for established people to connect.
Got it.
So then they leave after a few months.
So you can't start from scratch in Bali, but if you've done something, if you have something to show and if you have steady work, it's a good place to move.
If you already have an income or you have a job online, I think it's a great place to live and connect with other foreigners or like just enjoy the beauty. Like Bali has so much to offer, you know. But to start something, you know, it's very hard. Like, what are you going to do? Like, start photography there? It's Indonesia. It's not a good market. You can't earn money with a tourist visa. It's more like a trap of like, oh yeah, you can have all this, what these people have, but these people built it before. They didn't build it in Bali.
Mm.
So it's just like, people who live there a long time, they would be all leaving after a year and 2. So you don't really have a constant friend group living there for longer. So that happened to me too. I was like with like 12 people, and then after 3-4 months, like one by one, they're all gone. And like,
Why do people leave?
because they don't realize it's not for them. It's like they thought it can be for them, like that digital nomad life, but then they realize they need either their parents or they need their comfort zone, and they didn't see the growth, I think.
Career growth.
Yeah.
Okay. Like growth reduced a little bit in Bali.
Yeah, because there's like so many photographers, right?
Okay.
So everyone shoots the same palm tree.
Mm.
They didn't see the growth unless you have a completely different company online.
Mm.
So most of the people like told me like, oh, this like they feel like they're on the same level.
Mm.
While in Goa, since it's the same country, you can just enjoy the perks of Goa, the nature, and you can build something. And then you fly to Mumbai for like 40 minutes or something.
Mm. And you see a lot of people moving to Goa for the same reason?
To be honest, I'm inhaling all this thing and I'm like, whoa, I'm high on the candle, dude. It's like, whoa. I'm back in Arambol. No, I don't live in Arambol. See, like in Goa, still.
You're gonna take it in your hand, just like slip it once before the...
I see a lot of people coming to Goa actually.
Mm.
A lot of like the film industry people move there for a longer time.
Yeah.
Like where I live, it's like near Anjuna. It's like it's a really nice vibe, It's like very relaxing vibe. See, I'm not too much into like techno parties and stuff, but if I want to, I would have that option as well, So I'm just there, like for like a balance to work on my stuff. But I hope that more people would come to Goa to build a big community like that,
What's the downside to being in Goa? Internet connections and all that?
Internet connections, like shops, certain amount of products. I mean, Amazon works very good, but supermarkets have limited stock, stuff like that. The availability towards the city, like compared to the city, is not that good.
And
But
what's your love life in Goa like?
it's loving. No, no, I mean, I have friends in Goa, like
Okay, fair.
I have my circle in Goa, but yeah, like I keep really focusing on my work over there, like I try to travel 7 to 10 days a month.
And how's your heart, Chris?
My heart is good.
Okay, go on.
I mean, yeah, like I'm happily single,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, Goa is fun.
You know, they say white boys are at the top of the dating pool anywhere in the world. Do you agree? Yeah, that's what they say. Like on an average.
I'm happy with that.
Do you notice that? Do you notice the...
Yeah, I feel like, wherever you go, if you're like, if you're standing out,
Yeah, this I agree.
then you have a good chance.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Dude, for like brown guys, it's very different depending on where you go. If you go to a place that has a lot of brown people already, you're not.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah. But I've been stared down in like parts of Germany where I'm probably the only brown person.
yeah, exactly. So if you go to that kind of side, and you're also being like treated differently. But I feel like, yeah, being a white, tall guy, it definitely has privilege for sure.
Like what?
I mean, if you're exotic in some form, you get like more attention, and
So
people are more curious. Like I realize people are more curious about my opinion than about their own country people. They're like, oh, how does the food taste? And then my friend would be like, oh, it's good. I was like, I didn't ask you. I wanted to know from that white guy, How do you like Indian food? Everyone's like, how do you like Indian food?
How do you like Indian food?
They would not ask you. They would only ask me,
I feel like South American and Indian culture would be similar, dude. I don't know why. There are a lot of cultural similarities.
Yeah.
Did you feel that when you traveled?
One thing I chose India as my base. After Bali, I was like, where do I go? I was like, I want to go somewhere where I can have like for my business, for my travels, where I enjoy making videos. And I'm not surrounded by, sorry for the Thai people, but like boring people who don't speak the language that much.
Okay.
They're not so engaging, extrovert. Like, if you put the camera on them, they're like, So I felt like, where do I go? So I was thinking Brazil or India. And I've been to India 2 times before. So I was like, wow, actually, like, I really love making videos in India. Actually, my first vlog I made in India.
What did you like about it, dude?
About it, I love how the people are like very talkative, very fun. They're not shy. Even if you go to, like, I went to Dharavi, I went to other slums, and like people are super nice and super curious. You can have good conversation with them. They speak good English, and it's a very rising country. It's a lot of potential I see in India, So obviously I want to be somewhere where there's potential rather than where I'm like the only vlogger in Malaysia making content. Like,
But it's mainly kind of to be having fun also. You came here.
Yeah, like I just want to go somewhere where I can have fun.
Dude, for the last 2 years during COVID, because we didn't travel much abroad, so I was traveling a lot in India for the sake of vlogs. And I saw parts of India that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
Like, parts of like Himachal Pradesh, which are not really spoken about. And I realized that there's so many countries packed into this one country. It's the perfect country for vloggers, especially like foreigner vloggers.
Yes.
You guys will get to show so much from your own eyes. Did you feel that? Like,
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I came here as well is there's so many states and within the state, there are different worlds, So I don't want to go somewhere where I'm like, after 2 months, like Korea is very small. From Seoul to the east is 5 hours drive. So if I extensively making videos there, I will be done in like a week, 2 weeks. Okay, maybe more. But in India, I can travel for 5 years. I'm still going to be like, oh, wow, there's this part, this tribe. And that was a reason for me to like choose India as well, because I love adventure. I love new things, crazy things, so.
What's the craziest place you've seen in India?
Varanasi.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Varanasi, like when I came here the first time 4 years ago, I was like, I wanted to go. I've seen videos of like the Ganges River and like dead bodies float there. I was like, that's crazy, what the hell? And as like, to be honest, I'm not like a super in-depth religious person, but what I love about Hinduism, for example, it's like super complex. There's so many different traditions and ceremonies and people doing different things at shrines. And then there's a elephant, there's a cow, and people touch it. I'm like so curious what's happening. So when I went to Varanasi, I was just walking out of my hotel, and every 1 minute I'm like, what's happening there? What's happening there? It's super interesting.
Bro, as an Indian who's grown up in a very religious family, even I found Varanasi to be very like insane. So I can't imagine what you went through as a foreigner. But I'd love to actually hear more about it from a foreigner's eyes, dude. Like, okay, for example, when you're at the ghats, like, the places where they burn the dead bodies next to the river, what goes on in your head as a foreigner?
I mean, to be honest with you, like, I believe that even in religion, there has to be an evolvement, evolution.
Yeah.
So, for example, my Mumbai friends, like the one, like they're doing like social media and stuff, they would not go and swim in the Ganges River. So I'm just wondering how come, from the generations that some of them, they're doing all these things, like burning the dead body, putting the ashes in the river, taking this bath and stuff, and then some of them, they wouldn't do it. It's very fascinating to me because all this, what they do is like, what's happening, And it's so much to process. While I think it's cool to preserve culture and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes like, is it still necessary? Right? Like, I don't know how to answer that.
No.
Because there's a lot of things I'm like, wow, like you burn like 500 bodies every day, which is fine, but then there's some other things I'm like, maybe you should not bath there now because we have science that it's pretty bad for your health,
No, fair. Dude, like, do you believe in ghosts?
I do believe in supernatural things. I've never had any experience, but I definitely believe in it. I've heard some crazy stories. I'm like, are you sure? And I was like, whoa.
What did you have any supernatural experiences in Varanasi?
No.
It's like a hub of supernatural experiences, dude.
Did you?
Yeah. Like a lot. I've made vlogs about it, but they're in Hindi. Do you understand Hindi? No?
Only the...
Dude, if you understood Hindi, man, like you would be like the emperor of India. Like,
I've got to learn now.
Yeah, it'll be a hack, especially if you want to stay. But it is a complex language, honestly. It's not easy to pick up
I
on.
try to do like step by step, not forcing myself too much, but...
Do you know how to cuss in Hindi?
I do.
What do you know?
I hope you have a beep for that.
Yeah, we do.
No, I know some swearers like bed. The common things, you know?
You want to learn more?
Of course.
Do you know
Like dirty?
Apple?
Oh, no. Okay.
Uh,
Ganda. Ganda? What is ganda?
Ganda is dirty.
Yeah, okay.
Gand is ass. And Gand is person of the ass. Like, I don't know.
Person of the So if you go into the you come out dirty? You're the guy who went into the ganda.
I don't know how else to explain dude. I mean, I don't know how else to explain Gand. Dude, the thing is, if you grow up in Mumbai, you also grow up with these very unique swear words. Like, there's a swear word called lasun. Okay?
What is that?
Lav means dick.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And lasun means garlic. So, like, lasun. It's like, oh, fuck. It's the equivalent of, oh, fuck, man. Or when you want to say, like, when you're dictating a story and you want to make it pacier, you'll be like, yeah, he told me this, and lasun. It's just like a filler swear word. So,
garlic dick.
I think it's dick garlic.
India is always about flavors, right?
Yeah. What else? I'm thinking of weirder swear words, dude. There's so many. There's jha. You know what jha is?
No. Chat? No.
Jha.
Jha.
Pubic hair. So, who is person of the pubic hair?
Any flavor? Like chili pubic hair or something? Oh, wow.
Another weird one I heard is... Wow, dude, I mean, yeah, you hear some weird phrases when you grow up in this country. Like, I remember it was a dialogue from a movie where one guy calls the other guy Chipkali ki ka pasina. Okay, which is the sweat from a lizard's pubic hair.
It's funny because in Germany we have that too where you translate it just makes no sense, you know?
Like what?
I knew you were going to ask this. Wait. Okay. I'm bad if you put me on a spot. I'll think about it. I'll just put it randomly. I'll just shout it out, okay?
Okay, fine. In the middle of a story. Oh, by the way! Wow. Man, you said that you went to Dharavi and that was an experience. And 10 years ago, 15 years ago when Slumdog Millionaire came out, there was a lot of urban Indians who got pissed off with Slumdog Millionaire because it showed the truth, but it showed a sliver of like the big cities, you know?
Yeah.
I won't say a sliver because again, when we talk about Mumbai being an overpopulated city, it is primarily because of like the slum areas as well. Like it's a big contributor to that population. But Slumdog Millionaire isn't like the complete truth and it's not the complete picture. No. But when you go to Dharavi as a foreigner, bro, and like you've grown up in Düsseldorf in Germany with like cleanliness and organization.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're here. What's going on in your head here?
To be honest with you, when I came to Dharavi, I was like, wow, it's not that dirty. I mean, obviously some parts are, they're a bit more polluted. I was like, it's not that dirty. It's not that dangerously looking. And it's, I've been to all the areas where they like do the recycling and stuff. I was like, it doesn't look like a slum. I've been to slums in Philippines and like crazy places, I've seen kids sleeping in like garbage bins and like flies on their head. Dharavi was more developed than I thought,
It's an economy in itself. Like there's a lot of small businesses.
Yeah, and they have like the small businesses and like you go to different lanes and like in every door there are people working and they have a huge recycling, right? Where they have like $1 billion industry or something, which is crazy. But then I also went to like the housing, where you go to like small streets and like I could not even fit through the street. So I had a bad experience, which probably the most dangerous experience I had. Like I was with this other guy, he's a YouTuber from Dharavi. And he was just like, let's show you around. So we went through the small streets and I had my camera, And then like some guy starting to like run at us and like scream and like touch my guy, put him against the wall and be like, yo, blah, 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 something in Hindi, And I was like, what the is going on, Like, do I have to fight all these Dharavi people now? I was like, let's go. And then, he was just saying they're not happy for us for film, So I was looking into it and like, it's such a huge industry, like the slum tourism overtook Taj Mahal. And so what I'm like, do these people get money?
Probably.
Probably, maybe not. Like I can assume some tours they don't give anything to the people. So then you have like all these people with their cameras like filming into your house. I can understand why people get pissed, you know? So, but I didn't know what's going on, you know? I'm just hearing like some and all that. I was like, what the hell, you know? So I was like a bit more careful with the camera. So then we left. And there was like a bunch of kids at another part. So I wanted to like film them. And then there were the same guys waiting in there, and like I wanted to go there, and then it's like, don't go there, that's dangerous and stuff. I was like, that's better for the video. Like they think that I'll make the video to show the world how like poor the slum is, how dirty it is. You know, I'm like, look, I'm just here because I'm interested in how you guys live. You know, I'm not judging anyone, but they don't understand that, you know? So that's probably the most dangerous experience I had, because I didn't know what's going on, and there was just like a bunch of like 19-year-old guys like getting really aggressive and like screaming and pointing at the camera. And I'm like, dude, you know, like relax. Like you don't know what to do in this situation.
Were they rapping at you? Sorry, that's just think that would be.
I was like, this guy's just subscribed to my channel, by the way. No. I wasn't really too scared, but then this guy was just panicking, you know. I was like, bro, relax, you know. I'm from Germany. No, okay. But I was like, just tell them that we're just here to like, we just explore. If you don't want us to film, that's okay, you know. I'll just do like that.
Have you ever had to fight with anyone?
In India, no.
In life?
Yeah, in Germany.
In Germany?
Yeah, I broke my thing here. Well, the 19-year-old shit, you know?
But what were you fighting about?
Oh, I was actually defending a friend. He got bullied. So I was defending him, and then it happened, and then I broke this. And then I was like, this is not worth it. I should have defend you. Like I had to have the metal plate. I'm like, dude, this is not worth it. I'm like, I hate this, you know? Like it's not worth it. I'm a person I can talk. You know, I don't need to use violence or something. But in Dharavi, I was like, I'm ready. I'm kidding.
No, fair.
No, but yeah, Dharavi, it was a really cool experience. I met really awesome people, and like people started to talk to me, and I was like, this doesn't feel like it's a bad slum. It might be overcrowded, but if people are happy to live that way, it's fine. And at least, you know, they build something out of it. You know, it's like a seed of hope where they build something out of it. I think it's really good, you know?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people from Dharavi, and I know this because I have some friends who've grown up there. There are a lot of people who are looking at their life aspirationally now. There was a movie called Gully Boy. It was about it had Ranveer Singh, where he was a rapper from Dharavi.
Oh, wow.
So there is this actual big music and rap culture in Dharavi. Like this whole Indian rap scene has come out of there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In many ways, it's the equivalent of like what Kendrick Lamar and all these guys are going through in the West.
Yeah.
In
like,
Compton. This is like Bombay's version of it.
No, exactly.
It's Chris Betzmann. Is there any other last travel experience you want to share with us?
See, like, if there wouldn't be Instagram, I would already forget sometimes what I did 5 months ago. Right? It's just like so much happening when you travel. But
what's the craziest place you've seen in your life?
Like a few islands in Indonesia are really beautiful. Like Bahamas. Like some natural things where you like, even in Australia, there's so many things you're like, how can this be like formed by nature?
Like what?
You know? There's this Komodo Island in Indonesia. Well, there's so many things like Pink Beach. And I don't know, like I can't just show one place, you know, but there's so many places where you just stand. Even like I felt this at the Taj Mahal, you know? I'm like, when I went there in the morning and I was like hearing the call to prayer, I was like, oh, this is like a magical moment, you know? Because you see this in like books and like TV, and like at some spots when you're in front, you're very disappointed. You're like, what the fuck, it looks better on Instagram, you know? But at some spots when you're like there, you're like, wow, you know?
What did you like about the Taj Mahal?
I like I'm not too much into history. Obviously, I looked into like the basic history, but I just love the vibe, like the sun rising behind it, you know? And then it's so majestic, you know? So I had to take a moment to just enjoy it before just, you know, content. And I don't know, like the call to prayers. We were like running in the morning, run in front. So we were like the first. And then we stood there like there was nobody. It was just really cool.
Do you feel that optical illusion? You know, I've not seen it in my life, which is...
It's not an illusion, but like I was there the first time. There was a lot of fog behind, so you couldn't see anything else. And then if you stand inside that gate, it looked really crazy. Like the fog is like surrounding it. Like, And it's completely different what I was hearing back then, you know.
What's your time in India given you as a person, dude?
More patience. I'm so impatient. So if someone is like 10 minutes late,
Yeah.
nowadays, like back then, I'm like, nowadays 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, thank you for only being 10 minutes late and not 2 hours, you know?
You've had that where people have been like an hour late, 2 hours
yeah,
late.
dude. It's like efficiency levels are very low, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like,
And you've just accepted it as like a reality.
so now I'm accepting it, you know? So like, yeah, I mean, definitely patience. But I feel like I can really connect with Indians a lot compared to other countries I lived. So I'm really happy. Otherwise, that's something which made me leave Bangkok, Indonesia. It's like if you cannot relate too much with the local population, it's really hard to live somewhere long term. You know? So like I have friends in Mumbai. I'm like, it doesn't matter if they're from India. I can also like have the same connection with them like with someone from Europe or something, you know? Because they're very open-minded, very modern, you know? While in some other countries, it's like they haven't seen anything. So to connect with them is really hard, you know?
What do you mean they've not seen anything? Like they've not gone abroad?
Yeah, like I have some friends in Goa. You know, they're super nice people, you know? But then they haven't left the country. So they would be going like, bro, I went snorkeling in Goa. It was so good, you know? And they saw like 2 fish and everything is like not clear. And I was like, it's not that good because I've seen better, you know, but for them, it's like so beautiful, you know, I'm like, good for you, but why did you bring me here, you know? So it's like when we talk about things, I'm like, I have a complete different perspective while they think it from their little bubble.
Yeah.
You know, so something like that.
Would you say that India generally has nicer food in general than the world? Like, what's your opinion on that?
It has a really good cuisine. I love Indian food. I don't know if I could eat it. I mean, I don't know. I can't eat any food any day, every day, you know? But it has a good variety of food. So which is good, you know? Like in some cuisines, you know, like pizza, pasta and stuff, you know, but Indian food, it has so much.
What's the best thing you've eaten in India? Where you're like, that was insane.
I'm so bad in remembering things.
No, that's okay.
There's some of the curries.
Yeah.
I forgot the name. But I was like so good, you know. I love the basics like butter chicken, naan bread, you know. Like I like to try different things, but then depending on my mood, I like to switch. Like I'm having Thai food, Italian, German food, not so much.
Why not schnitzel?
Schnitzel, sausage. No, like sometimes I'm like, you know, if I go home, I'm like, yeah, I want some German food. But I try to be like looking at my health, so I'm trying to like, you know, eat like more raw foods and stuff.
Okay.
But Indian cuisine is amazing. Like I'm such a fan.
And of all the places you've traveled to in the world, what's the weirdest or worst thing you've eaten in your life? Where it's like, why the fuck?
Bro, I ate a lot of shit.
Tell us, Chris.
I ate in Cambodia. I ate a tarantula.
Wow.
Which was like the size of this.
Like a big spider.
Like, yeah, it's like a big spider deep fried.
And what does it taste like?
I think that they fried it, like they deep fried it so much that it tastes like burnt toast. You know that this black thing from your toast?
Yeah.
I ate a cockroach, snake, crocodile.
Let's sit on each of those and why don't you tell us what each one was like?
The funny thing is like snake, crocodile tastes like chicken. If you close your eyes, I will feed you crocodile. You would say it's chicken. It's so funny. I ate like grasshoppers, all these bugs in Thailand. And if you make them nice, it sounds weird. Like I went to this local gym in Thailand, right? And just had a workout, you know? So the guy, like the owner is like a huge guy, you know? He's like, oh, you want some protein? I was like, okay. So he brought like a bowl of grasshoppers. And I was like, okay. I tried. It was actually good, dude.
Yeah? What did it taste like?
They put like a nice garlic flavor, you know?
Like lesson.
I tried to remember that word.
Go on.
So like you have that lesson flavor, you know? And it tastes like the grasshopper. It tastes good. Like I swear to God, like it was fresh. And a lot of people say like, you know, like from bugs, you get good protein. It's good for the environment, you know? But then, yeah, if you eat it like in Khao San Road in Thailand on the market, it's really bad, dude. I ate like...
Yeah, what does it taste like there?
It's super low. I ate scorpion. And it's just...
What does it taste like, bro?
It tastes...
Like muddy.
Like muddy, dry. It doesn't have much good flavor. But then people in some countries eat like crazy shit, man. They eat like rats.
You've seen that?
Yeah, I've seen markets where there's like rats cut open and like the insides are still there. And then you just like, the people pick on the organ like, oh yeah, I want this.
Where is this?
In some Thai market, like northern Thailand.
I've been vegetarian since about 2018, but I've had an insane amount of meat and I've had like wild food experiences like you. And some of my wildest food experiences have been in Mumbai, dude. So,
Really?
Yeah.
What did I try in Mumbai? No animal like that. No.
There's something called Gurda Kapura. Have you heard of this? No, you've not heard of it. So,
No.
Bro, so goat is like a very big thing in Indian cuisine.
Goat,
mutton. Like,
mutton, yeah.
It's really common. And if you've grown up in a house that eats non-veg, you've eaten mutton in your life, very likely. And you've relished it. Like, you've enjoyed it. Because you have it in your biryanis, your kebabs, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the thing is, when I was in college, I got into this whole adventurous food vibe. And I decided that I'm going to go to Muhammad Ali Road, which is like, where there are big Ramzan celebrations. And try everything there, especially the exotic stuff. So, Gurda Kapura is basically the offal of the goat, which is like your balls, your kidney, your liver. And balls taste exactly what you'd imagine balls to taste like.
I never imagined how to taste.
Just imagine it for a second.
Did you put garlic on it?
Yeah. They have like a full marinade and all. They have a specific marinade just for the balls.
How big are they?
Like the size of your balls. Like I think dicks are different size, but everyone's balls are roughly the same size. Bro.
So the size.
Yeah, like big basketballs, you know. Sorry, those are the only balls I know.
Oh my god, dude.
But-
so how was it taste?
Dude, it tastes like kind of like boiled egg with like, do you know what gamey flavor is? Like
Like gooey?
like bro, like there's a strong. Have you ever had liver? Like of anything?
Yeah. Chicken liver.
Yeah. So liver has a gamey flavor.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like that very. It's you're eating an animal. Like you're eating like the something that's. I don't know, eaten some other stuff in its life. So when you eat balls, you're very aware that you're eating balls. And the thing is, they say that texture is flavor. So you feel the texture of the balls in your mouth.
So, that sounds like I should do it and make a reel out of it. Wow, this is...
No, go do it. You'll actually find it even now. Like if you go out searching in Muhammad Ali Road, it'll be a crazy YouTube video. Yeah, and it's worth eating. And you know why you won't fall ill? Because they really cook it through. And they serve it fresh. I wouldn't say the same about brain. Like I've had brain, like bheja.
I had brain as well. I had goat brain, yeah. Oh, in Mumbai I had goat brain.
Probably, where have you had it in Mumbai?
Where was it? Near Chor Bazaar.
Yeah, this is the same place. We're talking about the same place.
Okay. Yeah. There was a market, yeah.
Masjid Bandar. That's the area.
So it tasted like tofu.
Yeah.
Right? Like
cheesy
tofu. So I was just like, but then, if you chew it a bit and like, if you don't think too much, then it's like, okay, it has a tofu flavor. It's not too bad.
Yeah. That tofu is a great way. It's like runny tofu.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'd describe it as. But they say that that's the one unsafe thing to have.
Brain.
Because brains don't get cooked through like completely.
Okay.
Like there's always a part of it which will be slightly liquid. It's kind of like runny eggs, like how scrambled eggs are.
Yeah.
Sort of in that zone.
Oh, good to know afterwards.
You just wake up one day and go, man.
I do this sometimes. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I've tried in Korea?
Yeah.
A live octopus.
Really?
It's a oh my god, now my English.
Delicacy.
Yeah, it's super famous over there. And so basically they take they have like tanks with octopus.
Yeah.
They grab one. And then some people just eat it fully.
Wow.
Which they do for the videos. So it's not like, so we saw the videos, we're like, oh my God, do we have to do this?
What if it crawls back up?
Bro, you have to chew it. And like there are videos, but locals don't do that. But anyway, there's videos of like, the tentacles of the octopus are really sticking hard. Like you stick something to your window in the car to put your phone. So like this girl, she was just like putting this and the thing went in her face and she couldn't take it off. And like her freaking eyeball almost came off. Like it was like this, And I was like, let's do it, But then the way they do it is like, they take the octopus, they take it out, they chop the tentacles off, and they're moving like crazy, And they actually grow back. Did you know that? Like, I didn't know that. So they actually grow back. They put the head back into the tank, and after, I'm like, what the hell? So then they cut the tentacles, and they're moving like snakes, And then you eat that with sauce. And we're like, wow, okay.
It moves in your mouth as well.
It moves. So you have to chew it really properly because otherwise it can get stuck here and you can actually die.
Imagine the arm of like something just like stuck to your throat, bro.
Imagine you just chewing and then the thing comes out. Like,
Well, it might be helpful in some situations.
So I was asking the guy, I was like, what happens if you eat the whole octopus without chewing? Like, will it be like... But nobody does it. So you have to chew it really well and it tastes like octopus, just a bit, like, you know, like sushi.
Yeah.
Some of it is raw. So it wasn't that disgusting, but... Yeah. And they eat like live larvae.
Of flies?
Like these, like coconut flies, like, and the larvae is like yellow and they have bowls of it.
Wow.
And I don't know if you've seen the TikTok. It was a trend on TikTok for a while. I know, rest in peace, TikTok India. It was a trend on TikTok where people would be going live with a bowl of like these larvae and chopsticks, and they would be like donating money, and then they pretend to eat. So they had like 20,000 viewers. So like they eat that raw, like alive, and like it's moving.
Like maggots are inside.
Like maggots, yeah.
Wow, bro.
And they would eat that and like in the mouth, and then you can see it's like moving in them. Like, so Korea loves this kind of weird food, you know?
Why? What's the trip of eating it, dude?
I was like, why don't you cook the octopus? How about that? So it's just like, they told me it's like good for power, good for strength. I was like
it makes you horny. Like that's basically
yeah,
what
you
mean,
become
right?
like an octopus.
I would assume that goat balls make you horny, or at least more manly or something, bro.
What if you take goat balls and octopus at the same time? Oh God.
Wow.
So yeah, I love how different countries have like different foods, you know? We're like stuck on our chicken.
What other adventurous places have you seen here?
In India?
Yeah.
So I would say number 1, Varanasi. Number 2, overall, I think I love Kerala.
Why?
I love, like, I'm a jungle boy, you know? I feel like it's so much green and so much like amazing food. People are super nice. And overall, you know, the experience I had in like Munnar and like Alleppey was really lots of fun, you know? And yet I need to go back because the last time I went, it was super rainy.
Do you have any other insane experiences from your travels from all over the world, Chris? Do you see yourself living in India forever? I'm sure not.
Well, I cannot say forever, but I can see myself living here for a longer time. I have no plans on leaving now.
Really?
Like my plan is to travel to every state in India, you know, for the culture, not for the girls. And make videos, like experience. And, you know, if like Korea happens, Saudi Arabia, like I can still, you know, go out. And but I want to be based here for a while.
What was Saudi Arabia like?
Amazing.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like I never heard anything good about Saudi Arabia. You know, you think like it's like super, like everyone has to be covered. It's very open, man. Super open. I was there with the tourism board, so
the new king has like made it like that. That's what I've heard.
I can tell you it's gonna be better than Dubai soon. And I've heard that they're gonna drop their alcohol policy and like people gonna party there soon. They have so much money, man.
What's good about like the country? Like as in other than the fact that it was a surprise, what specifically was good?
I think they're developing really fast, like Dubai is doing. You know, they're very modern, and they're opening up a lot. You know, how from like super strict to like a country for everyone. That's their goal. So which is exciting because look at Dubai, you know. Like if you've been to Dubai 10 years ago, it's like so boring. You can't even buy alcohol. You can't even do this and that. Non-married couples could not stay together. So Saudi Arabia is Dubai in the beginning still, you know? So it's excited to see how it's progress, you know, for me.
I also feel Gulf countries compete a little bit with each other.
Yeah.
It's
They're like, we'll have more money than you.
Yeah. Even in football, like we see that with PSG and Manchester City.
Yeah.
I have a friend who studies anthropology related to the Gulf, and he said that it's totally a like status game at that level also. When they buy these big clubs, one buys like Messi, one buys Erling Haaland. And it's kind of like a way of saying my country has more money than yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. Good for the world. We get to see Messi and Neymar on the same team again. And we get to have travel experiences like this.
And I mean, if a country has so much money and they want to do so many things, like they actually want to do things, it's exciting to see. Right? Like something from the start going crazy. And I think they just recently like 3, 4, 5 years ago even opened the borders for any tourist, you know? So now they're doing all these huge campaigns where they invite creators and people to promote it, you know? And that is just the beginning. Like, you know, once they like fully go.
One last question for you on this show. Do you feel, and I'm just trying to understand like a foreigner perspective, plus you're like really well traveled. So you have a reference point of like a lot of countries. Do you feel your head kind of goes to more spiritual thought when you're in India? Because
Yes.
you feel that?
I feel like I'm like, you know what's funny? Like some people say like I have an Indian accent sometimes.
Yeah, I see that.
Really I'm trying to adapt everywhere I go. So obviously when I talk to a lot of Indians, my accent will adapt a certain way of their talking, you know?
And you'll start bobbing your head like this and shit.
I'm like, nahi bhai. nahi. Cello, you know? What is that? Masala, So like, it's like when you go to different places and people are super spiritual, then I'm always trying to like blend in, you know? So like, I'm not 100% there, but I want to try to get more into meditation, more into yoga, more into like getting more balance out of my life because these techniques, they work and everyone knows it, you know? So definitely, I think.
Yeah. I see that in you, bro, because you're someone who has a lot of questions in their head. Like, you know, and that's why you're traveling so much also. It's to like answer your questions. But I mean, maybe I'm biased because I'm Indian, but I can see someone like you staying in India for a long time. This place with all its like layers and, you know, complications, it answers a lot of your personal head questions.
Yes.
And this is something I've figured just by having conversations like this. So, Mr. Chris, that's the end of the show.
Thank you so much for having me, man. It was such a fun conversation.
Masaledar conversation with Chris Betzmann. I will be linking all your handles down below. Follow Chris for his amazing Bakchodi oriented reels and all his travels. And I will be seeing you in our Northeast trip. Because
I heard naughty trip. I was like, what?
Because if I have a white person in my thumbnail, I'll get clicks, dude.
Oh, thank you. Okay, should I take my like one button less? Oh shit.
Well, you're a great dude. That's what I'll say, Chris.
Thank you, bro. It was a pleasure. And we're gonna do this trip, yeah?
Yes, 100%.
It's confirmed.
Thank you for just your white skin. It's going to get me a lot of clicks on this podcast. No, I'm kidding. But thank you, bro. This was very educational. I think even the listeners got kind of a world tour through the mind of Chris Betzmann.
Yeah, that's what we want, you know? And like, it's always good to tell people, like, I feel like nothing has changed with my friends at home, most of them. It's always good to see how people can break out of the bubble and create a life for themselves, you know, even you did. And so everything is possible now, you know. I feel like it's something everyone should like focus on, you know, to just create a life. Just don't listen to anyone, just follow your path and just go for it, you know?
Bro, and yeah, one of the main reasons I wanted to do this episode, one was definitely the Bakchodi and I expected the jokes and all that. But two was I wanted to show listeners that a vibe like this can exist in life. In terms of the life that you're living, it's deeply adventurous, deeply exploratory. And you left your home at like a very young age. So I'm sure if people meet other 31-year-olds who've not chosen to go down the path you've chosen to go down, you'd notice that you're a much more kind of wide-eyed human. You're probably much more peaceful and happy.
And like, one thing I wanted to say is like, in that terms, what I feel like is very different in India is that people are more likely to stay at home until a very old age or even forever. And this is something I'm like not too much of a fan of. Like I agree the family culture is amazing and like, you know, but without me leaving this bubble, I would not be able to create the life for me because I would probably be living the life my family wants for me or the society wants for me. So being able to break out because of the internet nowadays, it's amazing, you know? Like, who wants to become a doctor nowadays? Everyone wants to become YouTubers, you know? And like, this wouldn't be possible 20 years ago, you know? But nowadays, you can literally like paint art on the wall and you can make TikToks and you can be a millionaire just by doing this, whatever you like to do. So I would encourage people to just like, you know, sometimes do what you like to do and you can make it
Mm.
instead of always listening to others.
Yeah. Man, you're a great guy. I enjoyed speaking to you, brother.
Thank
In
you.
a more spiritual context, nice meeting you in this lifetime. Last one was fun. So
Great.
we will see you soon, Mr. Betzmann.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. That's right. That was a nice chill episode of the Ranveer show. The one thing I figured is everybody loves white people. That's why we're going to have a lot more foreigners on the show because foreigners give us clicks, give us views. I'm kidding, man. But it is a trip talking to foreigners. It's a lot of perspectives that you get to learn from. It's a lot of experiences that get shared on the show. Of course, we do a lot of research before bringing on our guests. And I desperately want to know from you guys. If you all have any guest recommendations, please tell us in the comments below. And let me know what you all thought of this particular episode as well. Chris Betzmann will be back on the Ranveer show. But until then, follow us on Spotify. Every episode is available 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. Chris Betzmann, I love you, my schnitzel brother. See you later.